Alright guys, I got it done and hand sanded, and next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish out the grind. You guys have seen me use the grinder over there, so I'm not going to video that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish out the grind until I get a burr on both sides, and I'm going to take it through the various grit levels to get it where I want it to. Knock the burr off it, and then I'm going to go glue it up in my basement. And so what I do when I glue up the handles is I use a West Coast Systems epoxy, and so I'll glue up both sides. And normally I don't have the loveless bolts, but I do on this one, so I'll screw those together, get those good and tight. Even though those are on there, I want to make sure I've got good fit up front, in back, everywhere. So I'll still put probably about, even with the loveless bolts, I'll still put about 8 C-clamps on this knife. So once I clamp it up, one of the biggest things to watch for is once you clamp it, then I've got to clean up this surface right here in the front. Because like I said, all this area around here is going to get finished later, but this is one area that you don't come back and touch. And so you want to make sure that you wipe all the epoxy from there, and you get a Q-tip, some acetone in there, and get all the glue out. And then the other thing is to do is, once it's glued up, come back about a half an hour later, because it does like seep or expand a little bit, and and wipe it down one more time, make sure that's all out of there. And then, since I don't have anything down here on this knife to worry about, I'll set it vertical. If I have something like an exposed hang, I got to worry about glue coming out both ends, so I can't let it drip out this end, so I'd have to set it level. So I'm going to finish out the grind, get this thing glued up tonight, and that's about it for tonight. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, Brian Andrews back here, working on the Woodlore clone some more. So this is what the knife looks like after I glue it all up. I've taped off the handle to protect it, or the blade to protect it cosmetically, and I went ahead and I ground off the pins already, the screw heads from the loveless bolts. And as you can see, the front of the knife is finished, and that's all kept clean. The rest of the knife, the handles overlapped a little bit, and there's epoxy in there now and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down on my grinder with it square, and I'm going to shape the handles to the blade steel, and I'll show you a couple minutes of that, guys. I'm going to run my dust collector, so it's going to be a little bit probably more noisy than normal. Alright guys, so there's the knife with the handles shaped to the tang. So now it's starting to actually look like a knife. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some rough shaping with the same grinder and the platen. What I'm going to do is kind of make the shape in this direction. There's not going to be any swells or anything like that. I'm just going to shape it this way. So I'll show you a few minutes of that. There's one side getting roughed in. You can see it's got some shape to it. I'm going to turn the video camera off while I do the second side. And this one's looking pretty good. It doesn't have the swells in it yet, but I might come back to it. Sometimes I come back to it after I shape the other side to match them up, make them even. So there you guys go. Alright guys, I got the handle shaped in on both sides. It's roughed in basically. And I got the little cutout, or the little tapers there on the Woodlore. It looks like it's got a lot smaller, shorter ones than what I would typically put on mine. So that's what's going on there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the swell here and here on both sides. Just going to kind of rough this in again. I'm going to use the very end of my 4x36, and I'm going to have a vacuum going here, so it's going to be kind of loud, but I'll at least let you see a little bit of it. Start to see that's getting the shape that I want it to have. Just got to do the other side, and I'll come back to you when that's done.